You were sitting on the couch watching your favorite TV show while giggling and laughing when your husband walked in, giving you side eyes. Ryan, he called your name, grabbing your attention. He crossed his arms while you stopped laughing. But it's just a little break. You sound annoyed already because you know what he's going to say. A little break? You have an exam tomorrow. Shouldn't you be studying instead of watching TV? You sighed, now you are feeling more annoyed. Jungkook, I have been studying all day. I needed to relax a bit. He walked over and took the remote from your hand, turning off the TV. I get that you need to relax, but you also need to be prepared. You know how important this exam is. Your frustration boiled over. I know it's important, but I also know my limits. You can't keep acting like my professor at home too, you said, standing up. Jungkook's expression softened slightly, but he held his cold look. I'm not trying to be a professor right now. I'm trying to be your husband who cares about your future. I want you to succeed. And I will, but I need you to trust that I know what I'm doing. I can't be studying every single second. I need a balance. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. I do trust you. It's just hard for me to switch off sometimes. I want the best for you, and I know how much potential you have. I appreciate that really, but let's leave the professor at university, okay? You said, getting frustrated, and walked towards your bedroom, stomping your feet and slammed the door. Jungkook sighed and put the remote back on the table. He was watching you scrolling through your phone, and then you chit-chatted with your friends over phone. So overall you were not studying, and on top of that you started watching TV. Sometimes it is hard for him to manage both the roles. He doesn't like bringing up his professor personality here, but he just wants what is best for you. But sometimes you just don't understand him. Next day you came to the university before Jungkook. Usually he brings you with him and you both go home together, but today because of last night you were mad and came by yourself before he even woke up. These days you just don't know why, but you easily get mad when he shows that cold personality at home. Now you are also an adult and you want more things in your personal life, whereas Jungkook still prioritizes studies and all these things the most. And that's why you get frustrated. It's true that you both have decided to keep your professional and personal life separate, but it seems hard for you. You crave for his attention all the time. Ryan, you came so early today. You looked at her and smiled while she came near. There were not so many students in a university at this time because it's still early. Yes, I am a bit nervous because of exam, so I thought I will study in silence. She nodded. I know, me too, but it's not even that important exam, so don't be too hard on yourself, she said, patting your back. Important or not, I have to give my best, you said, and walked towards your classroom. You quickly revise whatever you have studied so far because you can't afford to fail in this exam, even if it's not that important, because you don't want Jungkook to feel like you are not serious about your future. Slowly other students started to come inside the class. Your friends came as well, and you knew Jungkook would be here too. He must have been a little mad after not finding you at home. Wow, what a miracle. How are you so early today, huh? You smiled. Surprise? And you both giggled. According to you, you have the best friend circle and they really make you happy. I am nervous, guys. I didn't able to study yesterday because I went for shopping with my sister, she said nervously. Relax, we can at least pass the exam. That's enough for this one. Yes, you are right, but you see how Professor Jungkook always appreciate the ones who score more? I just sometimes want to hear him all calm and sweet. I'm sure he's a nice person, but he's always cold and strict during university. It's his work, we can't do anything. You sighed hearing them. Even you think Jungkook does more than needed. He can be a little sweet sometimes. That won't cost him anything, but no, he has to show how strict and passionate he is all the time. Jungkook entered the lecture hall, his expression as stern as ever. He commanded silence with just his presence, and the room fell still. As he started his lecture on quantum mechanics, his eyes briefly met yours. He looked a little frustrated, and yes, you know why. You came to the university all by yourself and didn't even care to inform him. You looked away, avoiding his eyes, which raised his frustration even more. Today, your patience worn thin. Jungkook had been particularly hard on you during the past few weeks, constantly challenging you with impossible questions and criticizing your work more harshly than others. You knew it was part of your agreement to keep your relationship secret, but it feels unbearable. Miss Ryan explained the principle of superposition. He said, looking at you, and all the heads turned towards you. You knew why he only chose you specially today. You got up because you have already studied this. You stood, your face hot with a mix of anger and nervous. The principle of superposition states that louder, Miss Ryan, the whole class needs to hear you. He interrupted while you clenched your hands slightly. The principle of superposition states that a physical system. Speak with confidence, he again said, raising his voice, but this was the final straw. Your patience broke and frustration grew up. Why do you have to be so cold and unfeeling? You treat us like we are nothing, like we don't matter. Is it too much to ask for a little kindness? You shouted and the room went silent. Every eye was on you and you could see shock on your classmate's face. Jungkook was shocked too, but his heart clenched as he recognized your voice that was filled with emotions. You always behave the same no matter where you are. Do you think we don't have emotions? Just because you are a professor doesn't give you a right to get mad at us and treat us coldly. Whatever you didn't able to say last night, you said it here. Before you get too emotional and spit something else, Jungkook found his voice and spoke. Miss Ryan, in my office right after the class. You can sit down now. Let's continue the chapter, he said, turning towards the board while Minnie held your hand and made you sit. You didn't have to take Rachel's words seriously. He's a professor, it's his choice, she whispered while you looked at her. That doesn't give him any right to ignore others' feelings. The rest of the class went awkward. Even Jungkook has to try his best to focus because he couldn't stop thinking about you and the way your anger burst out. After the class ended, Jungkook left, giving you a final look that reminds you that you have to come to his office. You gathered your belongings. Don't worry, he won't do anything, okay? You looked at her and smiled. He can't do anything anyways. And you left the class, leaving them confused. Don't you think she's sometimes too complicated? She's always. I just hope Professor Jungkook won't scold her. She become overdaring today. You arrived at Jungkook's office. He was already there, the office closing with a soft click behind you. Your eyes met, but then you quickly lowered them because you were still mad. Jungkook sighed and came near you. He knew what exactly you want to hear and want him to do, and as a husband, it's his duty to make you believe that he loves you more than anything. But him being a professor and husband is two different things. He took a deep breath before sliding his hands in his pockets. Wyan? What was that about? His voice was softer than earlier. You turned to face him, tears filling in your eyes. I can't keep doing this, Jungkook. The way you treat me in class, it's too much. It feels like I'm being punished. He frowned. I'm trying to maintain professionalism. We agreed on this, he said as his expressions hardened while you looked at him in disbelief. Professionalism? You're treating me worse than anyone else in that class. It's like you're trying to prove something and I'm the one paying the price. Jungkook was too stunned to speak after hearing that. Never in his dreams he thought to be harsh on you. It's just he always asks you to prioritize your career and studies, and you are taking this thing in a wrong way. How can you even think that far, Ryan? When did I treated you wrong? I don't understand. I've been treating you like everyone else. Exactly. You are treating me like everyone else, but I'm not just anyone else. I'm your wife. It's not only a matter which is limited to university. From past few weeks, you are behaving the same at home as well. I don't understand why you have to be so strict all the time. He looked taken aback, his brows furrowing. Strict. I didn't realize I was being that way. I thought I was just keeping things professional at school. It's more than that. It feels like you have put up a wall even at home. I miss the way we used to be, the way you used to be with me. Your voice trembled. Jungkook came near you and pulled you in a hug. He can't see tears in your eyes. I'm sorry. Please don't cry. I didn't know it was affecting you that much. Sorry for last night as well. I'm not complaining, nor I'm saying that you are bad. It's just you have got so much into protecting your professional and personal space that you yourself is mixing up everything. I want my husband at home, not my professor who always scolds me and tell me to study. You know why I got married right after the school? Because I didn't want to study, but you insisted me to study after marriage. I got agreed thinking how hard it could be. My husband is my professor, so I don't have to be tensed about anything, but everything turned opposite. I've never studied this much in my whole life like how I study now, and my husband turned into my professor. Jungkook chuckled slightly and pulled back before looking at you. Okay, fine. I'm sorry and I will take care of my behavior, but you also have to promise me that you will study hard. Yesterday, you just wasted the whole day. I saw that. I know, it was just to annoy you so that you say something and then I will pour my frustration and everything that has built up inside me. So, did you take out all the frustration or there's still anything left? He asked, making you feel a little embarrassed. You shook your head. No, there's nothing. He exhaled deeply and walked towards his desk. Thank you for that, but you really surprised me, and I'm sure everyone else too. Now they will take an attempt to do the same next time. Let them dare, and I'll break their bones. You said in a strict tone, surprising him once again. Who is teaching you all this stuff? You are becoming bold and rude these days. You came near him and sat on his lap. I'm self taught, and only I have the right to speak to you this way because you are my man. Others will pay if they dare to even raise their voice. He looked at you stunned for some seconds and then chuckled. You seems high today. Let's go for dinner tonight and go back to class before someone comes. he said, kissing your cheek while you pout. You are a grown-ass man, still you don't know how to kiss your woman. Before you understand anything, you grabbed his chin and pressed your lips against his. First his eyes widened as he was surprised, but then he smiled and kissed you back.